Section 1, Ancient Aliens and Origins. Buckle up, because we're diving into one of the coolest and most mind-blowing theories out there, ancient aliens. Flying saucer, alien, sparkles, that's right, folks, the idea that extraterrestrials may have influenced human civilization isn't just sci-fi fantasy. Various religious texts, including the Bible, tell stories of celestial beings descending from the heavens and interacting with humans. Take the Nephilim in the book of Genesis or Ezekiel's vision of a flying chariot. Could these be ancient accounts of extraterrestrial encounters? Some say yes. And let's talk about the Sumerians, one of the first known civilizations. They documented interactions with powerful beings known as the Anunnaki, who some believe weren't just gods but advanced visitors from beyond the stars. Shooting star, Africa, eyes. If this theory holds up, it could mean that humanity's early progress, our technology, spirituality, and even society, was nudged forward by beings from another world. Paul Wallace, a respected researcher, author, and former archdeacon, one step below a bishop, has explored this idea extensively in his work, questioning whether ancient texts may have been intentionally altered to hide extraterrestrial influences. His book The Eden Conspiracy delves into how these ancient accounts might be revealing more than we ever imagined. Crazy, right? But it gets even wilder the deeper we go. Fire. Section 2, Ancient Texts and Artifacts. Let's get into the juicy stuff. Mysterious texts and mind-blowing artifacts that have left historians scratching their heads. Scroll, face with monocle, rocket. Across the world, we find evidence that suggests our ancestors may have been in contact with something, or someone, far more advanced than we give them credit for. Take ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs, for example. Some of them seem to depict flying vehicles, and Mesoamerican civilizations like the Mayans and Aztecs recorded encounters with sky gods. Sun, eyes, coincidence? Maybe, but wait, it gets better. Paul Wallace has suggested that many of these ancient stories and artifacts could be remnants of direct contact with advanced beings. In Escaping from Eden, Wallace explores how religious texts, once thought to be purely spiritual, might actually contain clues pointing toward an extraterrestrial presence. He argues that ancient accounts of divine interventions and celestial beings might have originally been descriptions of real encounters with non-human intelligences, later reframed through a theological lens. Flying saucer, open book, sparkles. Over in India, the Vedas describe flying machines known as vimanas. Yep, that's right, ancient texts detailing what sounds an awful lot like spacecraft. Rocket, flying saucer, sparkles, and the scars of Eden. Wallace expands on this idea, questioning whether the knowledge of vimanas and other advanced technologies was lost over time due to historical suppression or deliberate rewriting of early human history. Could it be that early civilizations possessed technology far beyond what we assume possible, gifted or inspired by otherworldly visitors? And then there's the Antikythera Mechanism, an ancient Greek analog computer that completely throws our timeline of technological development into question. If humans of the past were capable of such intricate mechanical calculations, what else might they have known? Wallace suggests that this and similar artifacts could hint at a lost era of advanced knowledge, perhaps one shaped by outside influences. These discoveries challenge everything we thought we knew about history, and honestly, the deeper we dig, the wilder it gets. Fire. Section 3, The Role of Mythology. Let's talk about myths, those epic, larger-than-life stories that have been passed down for centuries. Open book, high voltage sign, Americas. But what if I told you that these myths might not just be fairy tales, but actually hidden accounts of real encounters with advanced beings? Yep, across different cultures, we see recurring themes, gods coming down from the sky, sharing wisdom, and sometimes even mixing with humans. Sounds suspiciously like aliens, right? Eyes, sparkles. Paul Wallace has pointed out that many ancient myths contain eerily similar descriptions of sky gods and otherworldly visitors. In Escaping from Eden, Wallace explores the idea that ancient myths from different civilizations may have been misinterpreted over time, concealing an original truth, contact with non-human intelligences. He delves into how these beings were often depicted as teachers and guides, offering wisdom that helped shape early human cultures. Think about it. The Greek pantheon, the Norse gods, and Hindu deities all have these wild stories of divine intervention and supernatural abilities. high voltage sign, flying saucer, fire. Could these actually be ancient people's way of trying to explain encounters with extraterrestrials? Wallace suggests that figures like Zeus, Odin, or Vishnu may have been advanced visitors who imparted knowledge beyond human comprehension, only to later be deified and woven into mythology. He argues that similar accounts of flying chariots, celestial battles, and divine messengers across cultures may not be coincidence but remnants of a shared global history. In The Scars of Eden, Wallace expands on this by questioning whether mainstream historical narratives have intentionally suppressed evidence pointing to these extraterrestrial encounters. If ancient stories were rewritten or censored over time, how much of our true history has been lost? Imagine if the stories we grew up believing as mythology were actually coded accounts of real events. Mind blown. Section 4, Pantheism and Spirituality. Let's get metaphysical. Herb, crystal ball, Milky Way. Pantheism is the mind-blowing idea that the divine isn't some separate being sitting on a throne, but rather, it's everywhere, woven into the very fabric of reality. Forget the old-school idea of a single, ruling deity. Ancient cultures saw spirituality in everything around them: trees, rivers, the sky, even the air we breathe. Africa, ocean wave, falling leaf. Paul Wallace suggests that early human civilizations may have developed these spiritual beliefs through contact with higher beings. Glowing star, brain, alien. In The Eden Conspiracy, he explores how ancient societies might have received profound wisdom from these advanced entities, shaping religious and mystical traditions that emphasize the interconnectedness of all things. According to Wallace, the idea of divinity being present in everything could stem from direct encounters with beings who had a deeper understanding of the nature of the cosmos. His book The Scars of Eden expands on this, highlighting how various religious doctrines could have been misinterpreted or altered over time to suppress knowledge of these encounters. Modern quantum physics is even suggesting that consciousness itself might be a fundamental force of the universe, aligning with ancient beliefs that reality is shaped by thought and intention. Could it be that ancient mystics were tapping into real cosmic truths long before science caught up? Wallace proposes that many of these teachings have survived in esoteric traditions, waiting to be rediscovered. Person in lotus position, sparkles, crystal ball. Section 5, Real Magic and Mind Power. Let's talk about real magic, not the Hollywood kind with wands and explosions, but the type that taps into the power of the mind. Fire, brain, crystal ball. Wicca, Druidism, and other esoteric traditions have long taught that the mind is an incredible tool capable of shaping reality. It's all about directing energy and intention to bring about real-world change. Sounds pretty cool, right? Rocket, sparkles. Paul Wallace has speculated that what we now call magic might have roots in lost knowledge passed down from ancient extraterrestrial contact. In his book The Scars of Eden, he explores how ancient cultures may have received guidance from advanced beings, teaching early humans how to harness energy, manipulate their environment, and alter perception through focused intent. Could these ancient visitors have shared knowledge that evolved into what we now call esoteric wisdom? Mind blown. Wallace also highlights how early religious leaders and secret societies may have concealed these teachings, repackaging them into mystical traditions that required initiation to access. Think about things like the law of attraction, energy work, and cosmic ordering. These aren't just wishful thinking. Some believe these techniques stem from an ancient, advanced understanding of the universe, an understanding that only now is being rediscovered. If magic is just psychology in disguise, then why do so many traditions across time and culture share similar teachings on manifestation and energy manipulation? Maybe there's something more to it than we realize. Face with monocle, Milky Way, fire. Section 6, Modern Practices. Fast forward to the present. Hourglass, high voltage sign, Africa. While ancient traditions might sound like something straight out of a fantasy novel, their influence is still going strong today. Wicca, Druidism, and all sorts of New Age practices have taken these old school teachings and given them a fresh, modern spin. Crystal ball, seedling, sparkles. Paul Wallace, in his books such as The Scars of Eden and Escaping from Eden, explores how modern spiritual movements might actually be reconnecting with ancient knowledge that was either lost or intentionally suppressed. He suggests that practices like energy work, meditation, and ritual magic may have originated from encounters with advanced beings who passed on their knowledge to early human societies. Could it be that what we call spirituality today is a fragmented understanding of an older, more complex system of wisdom? Many of these traditions emphasize the importance of personal experience and direct interaction with unseen forces, mirroring the shamanic traditions of ancient cultures. Africa, Sparkles, Open Book, Conclusion, Unlocking the Truth. Wow, what a ride. Roller coaster, brain, collision. We've explored everything from ancient texts and mythology to real magic and cosmic connections. Pretty mind-blowing, right? Whether you think these ideas point to extraterrestrial influences or are just a fascinating part of cultural evolution, one thing's for sure, our ancestors were onto something big. Eyes, Americas, Sparkles, Paul Wallace, who left the church after deep research led him to question traditional religious narratives, has played a huge role in shining a light on these theories, questioning the narratives we've been given and opening the door to new possibilities. The idea that humanity might have been nudged forward by divine beings, cosmic energies, or advanced visitors from beyond the stars is wild, but it opens up so many possibilities. The key takeaway? Stay curious, keep questioning, and never stop exploring the mysteries of our past, present, and future. Crystal ball, shooting star, rocket.